Hello, my name is James Peak. I'll be doing a PowerPoint over the Zika virus and its impact on the environment. My theme, 5 themes of geography, will be the human-environment interaction. First, I'll explain why I chose my topic and what I chose, I guess. Um, for my topic, I picked the spread of the Zika virus and how humans and the way they are treating the environment has played a role. This can be pollution or any other way that the humans have caused the virus to spread a lot easier. I will also discuss how they are trying to stop the spreading of the virus and also the impact that it's having on the Olympics. That's mainly one reason why I chose this topic, is because it's more current issue, and some Olympians are even saying that they are not willing to go to Brazil because of this Zika virus and the environment that it's thriving in, which is Brazil. So what is the virus? The Zika virus is a virus or a disease carried primarily by mosquitoes, a specific type that can live in North America or Africa, and they like the damp, warm regions of the world, which is the Americas, Africa, Australia. This virus has grown recently in places like Brazil and Mexico, where there is dense populated areas, polluted, where the mosquitoes can thrive and overpopulate and spread the virus more easily. In this slide, it gives more general facts about the Zika virus. Like I said, it's transmitted primarily through mosquito bites. Another fact is 1 in 5 people will become ill. Even though that you're infected, only about 20% will feel the symptoms. On the right-hand side, a fever, rash, joint pain, red eyes, and also dehydration is a big symptom. Death is rare, and also on the bottom left, it's stating that it just lasts 2 to 7 days, the symptoms. On to the next slide, just more information on the virus, how the CDC first knowledge was dated back to 1947, and it was primarily in Southeast Asia and Africa. Also, 5 years after that, in 1952, was the first human case of the Zika virus. Also, with women, which is the primary focus, is because if a pregnant woman was to get infected by the Zika virus, they can have very bad, even the illness themselves, but suffer fatal birth defects, anywhere from the shortening or the smaller size of the brain, and also the head. On the next slide, I describe more about the scare of the virus, where the illness, the fevers, the rashes, the dehydration, and it can lead to death, but is not common. But also I explain how the virus can cause the fatal birth defects, where the smaller brains and size of the heads can lead to harder aging for the baby, where their developmental skills and also physical ability can be hurt by this disease. On the next slide, I just have 2 pictures. One is a pregnant woman's guide to Zika. More of the common facts you need to know. 1 in 4 people infected show symptoms. Some symptoms being, again, headaches, fever, muscle and joint pain, red eyes, rash, and that they only last 2 weeks. Also pictured is a baby with a typical size head and a baby with microcephaly, which is, again, the disease where a baby is born with a smaller head and a smaller brain, which can hurt the baby's developmental skills and physical abilities as well. On to the next slide, I'm going to focus on how the Zika is a growing problem and the number of cases in specific types of environments where the mosquitoes home to are increasing. Those environments like Brazil, Mexico, and Australia, those warm, damp environments, and also where pollution is playing a role. Mainly in Brazil, the Rio de Janeiro. A quick fact is the scientists tied the epidemic in Brazil back to the FIFA World Cup, where tourists came in with the virus, and then a mosquito bit them, and then from there they have fed on other humans and spread the virus very quickly. The next slide, I have another picture where it shows a map of the world and places where Zika is active. Zika is currently reported, or prior to 2015. It seems like prior to 2015 you have places in Africa, Southeast Asia, where you haven't reports of Zika, and then more common reports in Brazil, South America, Mexico, where there's Central America, North America, United States, and Australia. The next slide, I zone into more of homeland, the United States, where travel-associated Zika viruses reported 358 cases. That is through 2015 as well. Locally acquired cases, either transmission through mosquitoes or sexually transmitted as well. You're seeing a few cases from sexually transmitted, and then also a few cases from where the baby in the womb is coming into contact with the Zika virus and born with the Zika virus. And then again, on the next slide, I'm still in the United States. I love maps that show where the virus is or where is which. I always like to see where Kentucky, we're zero. We don't have any reported cases within the last year, which is great. You can kind of see where environments like California, Texas, and Florida, those warm, damp environments again where the virus is easily spread. And also where the population's a little bit more dense in urban areas where they can be sexually transmitted or through pregnancy as well, where babies are born with the Zika virus. Like I've been saying, the Zika virus can be spread through feeding of mosquitoes primarily. One specific species usually carries the Zika virus, and that species is usually or is home to Brazil and Mexico, but the species has also been located in United States. Not only by mosquitoes, but sexual contact and blood transfusions can be another way the Zika virus can be spread. On to the next slide. The pictures really break down the symptoms, prevention, treatment, and where it is in the world, of course. Symptoms, fever, headache, red eyes, rash. But I like how this picture shows prevention. Make sure you're clothed, long sleeves, pants. Make sure you use mosquito spray. Sleep in canopies with a mosquito net instead of allowing mosquitoes to feed on you while you're sleeping. Use mosquito nets in windows. Also, this picture shows the treatment, which is varied. There's no vaccine or drugs that you can take to help. Just primarily sleep and drink water, which can prevent the dehydration symptom as well. In the next slide, I bring up human-environment interaction. I give a definition on human-environment interaction. To sum it up, it's basically saying that anytime a human interacts with the environment, good or bad, pollution, or just trying to save the environment, that is human-environment interaction. Another definition, short and sweet, how people interact with the environment. Humans interact in three ways: modify, adapt, or depend on the environment. And also, example, the Mead Lake, which is a man-made lake caused by the construction of the Hoover Dam. I believe the human-environment interaction is in two main ways. First is being how the environment we live in, is impacting how we're interacting with it and trying to stop the spread of the virus. Either that's in Brazil, where they're trying to stop the reproduction of mosquitoes, or in the United States, where we are precautioning people from going to Brazil and not wanting them to bring the virus back. Second, I see pollution as a big cause in urban areas where you can see where mosquitoes can thrive and reproduce very quickly and feed on the dense population and be able to spread a virus like this a lot quicker. The next slide, I go on in brief detail about how the environment is a key indicator on if the virus is able to spread or not. Another key indicator is if the species of the mosquito that carries the virus primarily is an inhabitant of that particular environment, like Brazil. And also, again, warm, damp areas, 80 degrees is what mosquitoes prefer. They do go into hibernation under 60 degrees. Pollution and humidity also play a role, as long as they have a place where they can breed their young. There's a few different ways that we're trying to use to stop the spread of the virus. The first one being aggressive, which is using gamma rays to attack the male population of the mosquito, where we kill them right off to where they're not able to reproduce with the females, then lowering the population and reproduction of mosquitoes. Therefore, there's less bites, there's less chances that people can contract the virus. The next slide goes into depth about how they're using gamma rays and killing the male population so they're not able to reproduce. This is a birth control method to where they can target the male population again and slow down the reproduction of mosquitoes, and using their environment to their advantage for targeting the polluted areas, the dense areas where they believe mosquitoes thrive and can spread the virus easily. Targeting those areas, they can try to stop this virus from spreading as easy. The next slide shows a picture of three gentlemen, either with healthcare or military personnel, where they're suited up using toxins to fight the mosquitoes in dense areas where population is high, and so is the mosquito population, so the virus can spread very quickly. Up to 20 people can contract the virus daily in these areas. The Brazilian president had a conference, and now 220,000 military personnel, along with 300,000 healthcare workers, are going door to door trying to figure out who has the virus, who has the symptoms, and also trying to fight the virus in residential and in the areas of cities where water can pool easy and the polluted canals, streams, and rivers of Brazil. There is a non-aggressive way, which is on this slide, where scientists have came to where they can sterilize mosquitoes with certain chemicals where it inhibits them to reproduce and for the female to not be able to lay eggs. Then again, slowing down the reproduction rate and the rate of the Zika virus. Scientists are gathering 2 million different mosquitoes, raising them, sterilizing them, and then releasing them out to the environment for them to mate. But the ending circumstance is the female not able to lay eggs, which is lowering the population of mosquitoes. This next slide has a picture of the Rio de Janeiro River and how polluted it is and how it's playing a role in allowing the Zika virus to spread quickly. The mosquitoes thrive in the polluted, swampy rivers where it's either human waste or they wash their clothes or any other way that humans pollute the river and the environment itself. The next slide, while the polluted rivers are a cause of the increase in virus, people are led on to believe if the rivers and streams weren't as polluted, would the cases be as many as there is today? I believe it wouldn't, because polluted, nasty rivers are where mosquitoes thrive, and the increase the population of mosquitoes allows the Zika virus, again, to spread more easily. On the next slide, I describe how Brazil has pointed to helping the poor that live off the rivers, either by drinking water, disposing of waste, cleaning their clothes, bathing, how they can help them to lower the population, and then hopefully lowering the mosquito population as well. At the beginning of my presentation, I talked about how the 2016 Summer Olympics are in question because of the Zika virus and the pollution that is in the Rio de Janeiro. The virus can spread easily by the mosquitoes, and many are putting the Summer Olympics into question because of the growing number of cases. Major athletes like U.S. soccer goalie Hope Solo said if the Olympics were today that she would not go, and a lot of her teammates have backed her because the Zika virus can have harmful impacts on women. On the next slide, I have a cool fact, and it really has nothing to do with Zika virus because the virus is spread primarily through blood transfusion, mosquito bite, and also sexual contact. But an independent study commissioned by the Associated Press revealed that if you took or drunk 3 teaspoons of the water where the Summer Olympics are supposed to be held, you have a 99% chance of being affected by a virus, which not again being the Zika virus, but that's how polluted the waters are of Rio de Janeiro. Tourism is also infected in the environments where the Zika virus is. Many cases are that tourism has stopped completely because of the scare of the Zika virus, and also the CDC has issued a red flag to where if you do travel to those countries, they precaution you, make sure you take the right steps to help not contract the virus. And they are also wanting to test anybody or anyone who returns home from the countries where the red flag is. My final 2 slides I discuss on if it can be stopped, and many scientists and the CDC believe that it couldn't have been stopped. Of course, the virus is always going to be around, and how tourists from either Africa or Australia have brought the virus to Brazil, it couldn't have been stopped completely, but the way the humans have interacted and treated the environment, all the pollution and the different ways that they have boosted the mosquito population, allowed them to manifest in these certain areas and carry the Zika virus and spread it, it could have been a lot less of an epidemic than it is now and gotten out of hand. In my slideshow, I discuss how the Zika virus has grown to be the epidemic it is now in Brazil and Mexico, and also many ways we could have stopped it from happening, and also ways we're trying to stop it from spreading now. I believe it is an epidemic, and also the 2016 Summer Olympics should be in question, especially the harmful impacts it can have on pregnancy, and also millions and millions of tourists going to South America and maybe coming back with the disease, spreading in the United States and other places where that species of mosquito can carry it to person, causing an epidemic, not in Brazil now, but in other areas like Australia and the United States. Thank you for your time, for listening to my presentation and viewing my PowerPoint. I hope you learned about the Zika virus and are now educated on it. I'm excited to read and listen to your PowerPoints and videos and hope to give great feedback on your presentation. Thanks again.